This is a short bite episode of Homeschool Together. Hello and welcome to Homeschool Together Short Bite Edition. Today we're going to be talking about the love child of Domino's meets Carcassonne called King Domino, made by Blue Orange.
Yeah,
a game
terrific company.
we've reviewed before was Planet, kind of a lovely little tile-based stick-em magnet game.
Yeah, everything Blue Orange makes seems to be really good.
It's really good. I mean, the quality of all their games that we've experienced has been just stellar. Game pieces are really heavy duty. And today we're going to talk about King Domino. This is a great game for building, matching, and then also abstract multiplication, where you don't have to necessarily do numbers, but you understand that certain things allow your points to kind of scale and multiply.
Yeah.
So what's really cool about it is on the back of all the tiles are numbers, and then the tiles are, if you could think of like an elongated Carcassonne tile.
Right. It's just like dominoes.
Just
right?
like a domino tile.
There's two sides to it.
Larger. I would say maybe like 3 inches by 1.5 inches.
Right. But these are pictures on either side rather than numbers. And they're very thick cardboard.
Yeah.
And the pictures on them are different regions that you're building in. The whole concept is you're building a kingdom. And so you've got your forest and water.
There's wheat and mining.
Yeah, wasteland and pasture. So there's these different types of terrain. And so while you are trying to match them, which is that's that domino concept where you're trying to match. In this case, you're trying to also match for greater points. The greater area that you can get of these different terrain types, the more points you score.
But where the challenge of the game is, it's not like a continuously growing game like Scrabble or something like that, where the heart of the challenge of the game is that they restrict your size to a 7x7. I think
for a 2-player, it's 7x7.
7x7, and in multiple players, it's 5x5.
5x5. And we should say that you are building your own. So this is a great game. As far as player interaction goes, it's not super high. They
have an expansion that brings in a little bit of cross playability, which we have.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. So basically in the game, 4 tiles are drawn. There are numbers on the back of the tiles to arrange the order that they will be turned over in. It's kind of a tile drafting situation, but depending who gets to go first depends on who was top of the pile on the last round. So the way that the tiles are numbered is tiles that are more lucrative have higher numbers, and more basic tiles have lower numbers. So for example, if I chose a lower numbered, more basic tile this round, that means I'm going to have a higher draft the next round, and I'm going to get first choice. So I might take the tile that, Matt wants, for example. That's the only level of player interaction. Is just maybe you took the tile I wanted.
A little bit of an auction system, sort of.
Yeah.
Where you're making the choice. I want this one.
No bidding. It's a
drafting.
One.
Yeah, drafting.
It's a tile draft, and so. But yeah, you're limited to this grid. So I'm trying to draft a tile that's going to work with what I already have set up. It's going to maximize the size of my different regions, and stay within this 5x5 or 7x7 if I'm playing 2 players. The fun thing, and Matt was talking about the multiplication, the abstract multiplication, is that you actually don't get points for your regions unless you have crowns in that region. So some of the cards, and these are where you get into the higher number cards, tiles, have crowns on them, and each crown is worth 1 point for every tile in that region.
Yeah, and that's a closed region, meaning they all have to be touching. So say, for example, I have 6 or 8 tiles, and I have like 5 segments that are all water, and they're all touching, and I draw a water with a crown. I play it. I now have 6 points because I now have 6 locations of water, and there's a crown. What's cool about it is if I draw another crown and I play it adjacent right into that same region, it is now 2 times all the regions. So in that case, it'd be 7 regions times 2. I now have 14 points. And so you can see how you can scale up your points. But again, the consideration has to be made. Do you continue to grow your region, or do you then start to be strategic on the on the size, the 7x7 or the 5x5 area, because if you make a wrong decision, it's going to be very difficult to close off your region. And what will happen at the end is you'll have these open areas where you could not play a tile. You cannot play outside the region, so you will have to burn a tile if you can't actually play it. That can become kind of frustrating at the end. So you do have to make good decisions. At first, you're just kind of like building nice regions, but eventually you got to start thinking about, oh, I'm within this larger constraint, and I have to now make very strategic decisions based on, you know, what tiles are available.
Right, right. It's a great one. It's one that we can play with our daughter at this point. Now that she's 5, I wouldn't. She doesn't. Of course, she can't do any of the multiplication parts of it.
No.
And she's a little bit of trouble staying into the square. So it's something she can play but not fully understand. I think this game would be a lot better suited to, I would say, 7 and up was probably better.
They recommend about 8 and up, but I do think if you have a gaming kid who plays a lot of games, 7, 6, late 6, early 7 might be the earliest you can play this with.
You could do it.
Yeah. This is also a game that, you know, Ariel and I got for ourselves to play for a while. I think I got it for you for Christmas because did it win Game of the Year or did Queen Domino?
No. King Domino won Game of the Year.
What game won Game of the Year? Their Spiel Award. So, I mean, this is a serious game. This is a seriously popular, well done.
Right.
The playability is off the charts. It won Game of the Year. This is like Best Picture nomination for a movie. So think of it in the same way. So this is a seriously good game, widely loved, widely, you know, hailed as enjoyable. I also used this as a manipulative for our oldest when she was really young. Before we had the little one, we've been playing this for a few years now. Being able to just draw tiles, build shapes, build arrangements that she likes. She can even just like look at all the tiles and build something that she wants. Just the idea of matching and coloring, you know, color matching and things of that nature. The colors are very vibrant, so it's like green, yellow, blue. Another great way to learn those colors, learn the shapes, make squares and rectangles. I used it in that sense for a while. She just loves playing with the games and the things. We also have the expansion, which is the ogre, the monster tower.
It's called Age of Giants, expansion, where you'll end up drawing some tiles that will put a giant onto yours, which basically covers a crown, so you don't get points for that. And you can end up throwing your giant over to somebody else's grid. So that's a fun variant.
But it came in this kind of like castle tower.
Yeah, it has a tower for you to draw tiles
out of.
It's
and
very
she
cool.
loved playing with that because you can open and close. It has these little built-in magnets inside the cardboard, so it just sticks really nicely. So she likes playing with that. She loved playing with the characters and kind of telling little stories and stuff. So if you were thinking about maybe this might be a good game to try with a younger kid and maybe they're not into it, it's a really fun game to play with adults. So you can always do that. But then
this is a very easy uptake game.
Yeah.
I mean, we played this we actually bought this for my parents for Christmas last year because they loved it so much when they came to visit us. We've played it with your parents. You could play this with great grandparents. It's very accessible.
I think they go 2 to 4 with this game. 2 to 4 people in this game. So
right.
A great little
you can
small
play
group.
5 if you get the Age of Giants expansion.
Yes, correct. And then there's also a couple other things we want to mention. There is another game that's built on top of this called Queen Domino, which is just more complex, more features, more things. So,
but it is standalone. You could play it with this and make more for more players, but it is a standalone game if you get Queen Domino.
We would recommend, whether or not you like it. King Domino is actually a smaller, cheaper game.
Yeah, I think it's like sub $20.
Sub $20.
It's very affordable.
Yeah, so maybe not go right to Queen Domino. Try King Domino. If you like it, then go ahead and get Queen Domino. But also, you found out that on their website they have some things for people to do at their home.
Yeah, it's great. They actually have a print and play expansion for King Domino on their site called The Court. We haven't actually tried it yet, but we will link it in the show notes.
But it's
for those
free.
Of you.
It's print and play.
It's totally free. They also have another 2-player game. They have some really great player mats, which I think I'm actually going to print out. So they have a couple kinds of player mats that have either the 5x5 or 7x7. I don't know if both are included or not, but I'll link them. As you can print it out, you could laminate it. Something that you can know you're always staying within your square, which is one of the problems our daughter has had. So that would be really great to be able to.
It's a challenge, I think, even for adults to remember 7x7.
It is. It's honestly challenging.
Yeah, a lot of times, because if you realize you don't have to commit to the 7 until you have 7 across or 7 up and down. And so sometimes it's hard to see the visualization of, which
where do I stop my boundaries?
Yeah, where do I want to stop that boundary and then go after what
Yeah,
I'm
the
going
game
after.
starts with a little cardboard castle in the center of it, and you build around that castle. It's kind of like a wild space. It could take anything, but it doesn't have to be exactly in the center of your kingdom. So that's where Matt's saying that it's hard to tell until you get a few more tiles where you want the boundaries to be of their 5x5 or 7x7. So they have a playing mat that you can print out and laminate. They also have a coloring playing mat that if your kid wants to color it, and then you could use that to play. So some really great freebies on the Blue Orange website, which I really appreciate. We've invested in quite a few Blue Orange games, and it's nice to see them have extra game goodies and things. So we'll link all of that in the show notes if you already have King Domino, or even Queen Domino. They'll still work. And definitely, I would recommend this one highly. Everyone we've ever played it with, we've played it with our parents. We played it with our gamer group.
Yeah.
Everyone loves King Domino. It's so universal. The strategy is difficult. This is one where there's enough luck. Matt's the strategist of our gaming pair here. If you wouldn't be surprised by his math and physics background, but this is one where I frequently can win this game.
Oh yeah,
because there's enough luck in the draw and the way that you set yourself up, right?
Because it is a blind draft.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't know what's going to be coming in the next set of four tiles. So I've actually won a number of these games. So this makes a great mix of strategy and luck, which is always a big hit in our household. And hopefully it will be in yours too. Thanks so much for joining us today and making us a part of your homeschool journey. Please engage with us on social media. Join our Homeschool Together podcast group on Facebook and find us at Homeschool Together Podcast on Instagram. We'd love to hear your feedback, questions, and recommendations. Until next time,
Happy homeschooling!